And I ask you to remember the context in which you exist. Yeah, I did that.
I think Kamala Harris will probably win in a cakewalk for governor.
No!
Okay.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
What's going on, guys? So there's a lot of stuff going on right now, but we got to take time to have a little bit of fun because Kamala Harris is making some plans behind the scenes to run for California governor, and Democrats are not happy about it, okay? So in particular, TYT is having a complete meltdown, and a Kasparian to be exact. As you know, red-pilled Anna has been having a field day. She's been going in on Democrats left and right. Barely says anything negative about Republicans these days. She might throw a little jab in here or there whenever Cenk is going off on his ridiculous tirades. But in general, once she gets going, like the thing that gets her blood boiling is when you mention Gavin Newsom, you mention Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Jeffrey, Schumer, Pelosi. She hates them all. And I'm loving it. And let's not forget, of course, Kamala Harris. She goes nuts, if you couldn't tell by the intro. Without further ado, let's get into it.
Some senior party officials said to be open to Kamala Harris running again in 4 years. Politico asking the question, are Democrats coconut pilled? Where are you on this future?
Well, that was Fox News anchor Bill Hemmer throwing to Lindy Li, who's the DNC Mid-Atlantic Regional Chair. Probably not for long because she is about to devastate Kamala Harris.
This is not what America wants. November 5th was a decisive defeat for the Democratic Party. She lost every single swing state. It wasn't a squeaker like it was in 2016. This was a resounding defeat. And right now, Kamala Harris is indulging in delusions of running for governor of California possibly in 2026 or even president again in 2028.
Wow.
America has said this is not what we don't want to be coconut pilled. We do not want Kamala Harris. We don't want failed border policies. And I feel like I'm liberated and I can finally tell the truth that the Democrats completely failed on the border. Title 42 was a tremendous mistake, and no one is willing to say that. And you shouldn't have to be, you shouldn't be called.
For those who don't know, that was Title 42 was the zero tolerance policy. And for the record, they hate this lady. I got to show you guys this clip because the Democrats hate this lady now. You know what they do to people that they hate.
I mean, Lindy, no disrespect to her, because she's a perfectly nice woman. She would not inspire me to open a bag of chips.
This past week has been harrowing for me. This Saturday, I went on Fox and Friends and I said that Democrats have a stench of loser hanging over them.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that, people have called me the W word.
Say what the word was.
Am I allowed to?
Yeah.
Well, they called me a whore. They called me the C word. They asked
Disgusting.
for me to be deported. And, you know, all these so-called Democrats, the party of inclusion, the party of diversity, masks off.
Look how quickly they turn on their own.
Bigoted or racist because you want strong borders for the United States. And you should be able to say that the economy was ailing under the Biden-Harris administration, that price hikes did indeed happen, but they denied that for the first 3 years of the administration. And when they finally did something, it was too late.
Now look, Lindy Li is a bundler for the Democratic Party. She raised a lot of money for Kamala Harris's campaign, and
Well, I don't really have much sympathy for this lady, to be honest. I mean, I don't think people should be treating her the way that they are. However, she is a complete and total buffoon and a liar because she clearly knew about these problems in the Democrat Party, but she was raising the money for Kamala Harris anyway. So now she's like trying to play both sides, like, well, Kamala, we were promised that she would win, but I know she had all these problems, but I thought she was going to win. I call BS on her. I don't trust the lady. I don't think she should be treated the way she is, but I also don't trust her either. So, like, I wouldn't be trying to invite her to the Republican Party or anything. I mean, she can stay somewhere in the middle. She independent for all I care.
Feels that she was lied to about how she was performing in the polling, lied to by the Harris campaign about the likelihood of beating Donald Trump. And so she's been making the media rounds, and you can tell that she is really soured on the Democratic Party. But someone who hasn't soured on the Democratic Party is Joy Behar. Yet even she has some pretty harsh words for the Democratic Party and, more importantly, the Kamala Harris campaign. Take a look.
The thing the Democrats do, that most politicians do, I think the Republicans did it back in the day with John McCain. It's like, it's your turn. Kamala's in position, it's her turn.
Yeah.
Joe Biden, he did not retire early enough so that there could be an open, what do they call it? Primary, exactly, thank you. That's a simple word, and yet there would have been an open primary. Yeah. We would have seen what was out there a little bit more. It's just as bad as what they're doing with Trump, which is this loyalty oath that everybody has to take and bow down and kiss his ring.
We had a primary for Trump. Stop it. You know, for the Republicans, they have Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and a bunch of other people before that. Chris Christie was out there. There was the Ada Hutchinson. It was a bunch of freaking people, man. Doug Burgum, I think, was up in there. Stop it. It's not the freaking same. Teflon Don is just unbeatable.
It's not about who's the best person. It's about who do you feel is in the next in line to do the job with the Democrats and with the Republicans.
Obviously implying, and this would be a correct statement, that Kamala Harris was not the best person for the job or the best candidate to run against Trump.
I'm a little bit bitter about The View, because when we said Biden was too old, they were like, how dare you, right? When we said there should be an open primary, they said, how dare you? When we said, hey, the Democrats are asking for loyalty oaths and we're not supposed to be the authoritarian party, we're supposed to be more open, they're like, how dare you? Now all of a sudden The View is like, oh my God, you know what? Why didn't anybody tell us Biden was too old?
Yeah, they'll go back to the loyalty oaths, believe me.
Of course,
they will.
The View is the masters of loyalty oaths. If you don't pledge for whoever is the establishment corporate robot, they'll take your head off on The View. So, Joy, I appreciate your new opinion, but it's very, very different than your old opinion, which is like a minute ago, and it dramatically different. By the way, there's one thing I disagree here. I think Kamala Harris will probably win in a cakewalk for governor.
No!
Okay.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, I'm telling you the reality, whether you like it or not.
What are you doing?
Democratic voters in California love to obey. And so
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm gonna move, Cenk. I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna move.
I'm not saying I'm in favor of it. I'm telling you what's, like, if the Democratic Party said, we anoint Kamala Harris, a giant percentage of Democrats in California would go, yes, we obey. We will take the loyalty oath. It doesn't matter how bad she is.
This state cannot survive another incompetent Democrat leading it.
Leading it. Democrat like Kamala.
No, we just can't. Okay, like, anyway, so like people are egging her on. Okay, apparently she's like.
I mean, what do y'all think is gonna happen? California is a extremely woke place. I mean, these people are self-destructing that are voting for them. I mean, Kamala Harris won California in the 2024 presidential election. So, I mean, even if it's not Kamala Harris, it's gonna be somebody else that's similar, because that's what works out there. If you have some sort of opinion that's like in the middle, they're just gonna call you some sort of right winger. Heaven forbid you've ever like shook Donald Trump's hand or something, because that's how they did Larry Elder. They kept showing pictures of him shaking Donald Trump's hand and he was cooked. Now he was a Republican, but still, it doesn't matter. Like, I think Kamala Harris, honestly, in California, she probably has a pretty good chance. And a Kasparian might be off of the TYT. I feel like if she leaves TYT, that might be the end of her being a Democrat. I'm so serious. That might be the end, because she don't really have to play with the progressives anymore. She can fraternize even more with all these other people on the other side. This could be a drastic turn in her life if Kamala Harris runs for governor and wins out there in California, because I actually believe her that she will quit and that she will move, and she'll probably start her own show. And I mean, she's entertaining. I think she could be successful.
Wait and see mode. How about you wait and see like your way out of public life and go do what you're supposed to do. Go work in the private sector, go do the lobbying thing, whatever it is, but do not run as governor of California. Yeah. Do not.
So look, here's the thing that they still won't say that is definitely true, which is that she was a disaster. She was a terrible candidate. But it's still to this day with all their little, oh, golly gee, I wish somebody would have told us, right? But they're not saying the core thing, which is she was a talking robot and she could not answer normal questions like a human being. She had her scripts ready and she would just take the script, her talking points, and match it to any question that you asked her. It was Sarah Palin-esque. Yes, I said it.
Well, it's because her answer sucked. Because she did try that. And then there was like all of these gaffe videos, like me and everybody and her moms releasing all these videos of her sounding ridiculous and stupid and retarded. So her advisor probably telling her, do not go off script no matter what. She said, okay, thinking that hopefully it worked. It didn't.
Yes, she definitely deserved it. And no, we should want no part of her for any campaign at all, okay? And I don't know what coconut pilled means. That's a thing that people made up that doesn't even make any goddamn sense.
What the
okay, and finally on Lindy Li, the person say, so look, she's more conservative than I am, way more, and she's more from the donor class, etc. But at the same time, we don't have to drive everybody out of the party, right? So she has a different opinion on immigration, so what? Right, and it turns out that was the majority opinion in America, even though portions of it that I might not agree with. But I brought her up because she said a word that a lot of people are feeling. She said, I feel liberated. And that's because the establishment in the Democratic Party is so oppressive that if you disagree 1% in either direction or any direction, they'll take your head off. And then after the election, pretending as if they're open-minded is just garbage. The next time they'll do the same exact thing and they'll demand your obedience and compliance with probably the very worst candidate.
Please don't run for California. Please, I'm begging you.
She can't get over it.
The Washington Post reports that as soon as she lost to Trump on November 5th, some Harris supporters seized on the idea of a gubernatorial run, including wealthy donors. God, these wealthy donors are gonna be the death of me. Eager to see her take a leadership role in such a powerful post. Quote,
what leadership? She showed no leadership when she ran for president.
I mean, the vice president, isn't that way more powerful of a position than a gubernatorial role? Like, I know that she's the head honcho for the state and she wasn't the head honcho for the United States, but y'all know that the vice president is literally the president of the Senate, right? Like, she is basically over the Senate. Look it up, okay? Like this, guys, this is so stupid.
Oh, here's my positions on price gouging. Oh, never mind. Mark Cuban and the donors say that I shouldn't have those positions, so I don't have those positions. Oh, I love the Palestinians, but I'm going to crush them.
Let me please finish this graphic because, of course, it's always the same people. The people that drove the conversation within 18 minutes of the election being called was the finance team.
Of course.
She took $1 billion that was donated to her and not only spent it on nonsense in the span of 3 months, her campaign went into debt. You want her running the budget in California? This is nuts. Okay, I mean.
Well, look, guys, there's two things. One, unfortunately, the Democratic leadership has gotten so used to being authoritarian that they think, well, of course, the dear leaders must always be promoted. And they should be around forever and ever until they're all 98 years old and we're wheeling them around.
Like, look, I'm sorry. Right now, the Golden State is cooked. So like the idea of more of the same, and I do see Kamala Harris as more of the same. Like she's just the female version of Gavin Newsom. Disaster. Except Gavin Newsom at least can speak, right? That's the thing. Like he's a snake and is able to be a snake because he carries himself well in these public appearances. But in terms of substance, no, we need real leadership in California. It's falling apart. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Yeah, of course. And they're not going to do that. They're always going to go to the corrupt. And if you don't get that Kamala Harris is corrupt and incompetent by now, I mean, we're just going to have those same old fights. And then we'll see you guys in the primary in 2028. And you'll have Morning Joe and The View on your side. And they'll all be screaming to obey. And we'll see who wins. But there's no way we're letting Kamala Harris run again. That's insane. Oh, she can run all she wants. She's not going to win, okay? You'd have to have a coconut fall on your head for you to think that that was a smart idea.
But yeah, you're definitely right. She's not going to win a presidential primary. for the Democrats, and certainly not the presidency. But as governor of California, I don't know, Anna might be cooked. This whole show might be cooked. I mean, can you imagine TYT without Anna Kasparian? I mean, what else are they gonna do? Like, she is literally a staple of the show. And she's already diverging. Like, they're going like two different directions. Like, Jake is kind of a little bit somewhat getting closer to the middle because the left done went so far off a damn cliff, and Anna's just way over here somewhere. You can't even see her on the radar no more. So guys, it's looking bad for them. Because unfortunately, I mean, we live in a world where, I mean, Kamala Harris is not going to be stopped forever. Like, her residence is literally California. So, I mean, I think she's got a pretty decent chance. Now, obviously, people could point out all her flaws, that, well, she lost the presidency, she ruined the economy, blah, blah, blah. But if they believed all that out there in California, I mean, why would they vote for her in the election versus Trump? I mean, I know they hate Republicans, but still, I don't know. I feel like she just got that name recognition that a lot of people don't have. So it's just hard to say, like, as competent as she is, I just feel like the woker the place, the better the chance, and there's no place woker in California. That's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Not walk away. Ready to chart our path to the future.
No!
Okay.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing?